Margot Robbie returns as everyone's favorite little psycho in the latest release from the DC Cinematic Universe. I'm going to be going over the video and audio quality and if this 4K disc is worth your cash. In for review today is Birds of Prey on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Before we begin, if this is your first time here, I go over 4K content and let you know my opinion on it and if I think it's worth the pickup. We do videos here every single week, so if that's something that interests you, be sure and check out the channel and consider subscribing. Now let's get into the video. Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. It has been a few weeks since we last did a review here due to everything going on in the world, but I finally have some new content to go over and I'm excited to get a few more videos out to you. Now before we dive into the specs of this one, I know a lot of people have some mixed reviews about this film, and while I am a big fan of Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn, I've got to say that I wasn't that crazy about this movie. I've loved the Birds of Prey ever since the comics, and I even like the short-lived WB series, but this film basically used none of the source material, which was kind of disappointing. I did like some of the Harley Quinn fight sequences, but overall this was just not the best use of her character in my opinion. While I will say this disc looked better than the 1080p Blu-ray, I wouldn't call it just the most sharp or crisp looking 4K. There were some details you could notice, but overall I'd say this one was pretty soft looking, though a noticeable upgrade from the previous Harley movie, Suicide Squad. The use of HDR does help the colors in this film because some of the sets are extremely oversaturated and all of Harley's outfits really popped off the scene beautifully. As with a lot of the DC films though, this movie can look somewhat dark and dingy, and yes, there's a few highlights here and there from explosions, but it's certainly nothing that you'll be squinting at. If I had to compare this to any of the other DC films in terms of video, I'd put it alongside Shazam and Suicide Squad, as it's not anything as colorful as Wonder Woman and definitely not nearly as great as Aquaman. For overall video quality, I'll give this one a 7.5. I think it could have been sharper and maybe brighter. I do think this disc looks better than the standard Blu-ray, but it's not a huge difference for a casual viewer to notice. As for the audio on this disc, again I was not really that impressed, but I did see this in theaters and I didn't notice it being anything that different from that experience. This just wasn't as explosive of a soundtrack compared to some of the other superhero films. The only real fun scenes was the explosion at the beginning of the movie and maybe some hints of surrounds during the jailbreak scene. For audio quality, I'll give this one a 7. It's nothing that'll show off your system and it's really average. It's not bad, it's just average. The standard cover uses the theatrical poster, which is decent, but I think I would have liked them to be a little bit more creative if I'm being honest. It's a typical team shot with Harley front and center. Best Buy delivers a decent looking steelbook that I like, and it features just Harley. I like the quirky look to it and the colors, and I think it works well with the character's personality. As much as I wanted to like this movie and see the Birds of Prey finally get some recognition on the big screen, I just can't recommend picking this disc up on day one. The DC movies tend to go on sale frequently, and honestly, I would just wait on it. There really isn't anything impressive about this disc that I feel warrants you rushing out on Tuesday to pick it up. I think there were so many other ways this movie could have went, but in the end it was fairly predictable and, to be honest, a little boring. Hopefully this review has helped out your decision a little bit. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and hanging in there during this difficult time. If you enjoyed the video, be sure and give it a big thumbs up and drop a comment below to let me know your thoughts on the movie. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you again real soon. Bye guys.